Ever feel like you're constantly playing catch up when trying to figure out your career?
It's tough out there.
It really is. So today we're doing a deep dive into the world of financial managers.
Oh, good one.
We've got tons of info from RoleCatcher and some other sources too. We'll
Yeah.
see if maybe this is the career for you.
You know, it's funny. It's a role that people get the wrong idea about pretty often.
Really.
Yeah, you hear financial manager, you think, what?
Spreadsheets.
Spreadsheets, numbers, crunching numbers all day.
Yeah.
But there's way more to it than that.
RoleCatcher actually calls them get this, the financial health champion.
I like that.
I do too. It's pretty catchy. But what does that actually mean, like day to day?
It's more like being a financial strategist for a company.
Oh, okay.
Looking at the big picture, like what's happening in the market, what are the trends, what should we be investing in? You might be managing budgets or overseeing investments, or you could be assessing risk.
So less about, like you said, actually inputting numbers and more about understanding what they mean for the future.
Yeah, exactly. And that future can be in a lot of different places because financial managers, they're in every industry.
Oh, that's true.
RoleCatcher, actually, they highlight that. It's not just one industry, it's tech, it's healthcare, it's entertainment, really anything you can think of.
Yeah, that's a good point. They need someone to manage their money.
Exactly.
And speaking of needing them, there are going to be a lot of jobs for financial managers in the future, according to RoleCatcher.
Or if I hear.
Their data shows something like 15% growth over the next 10 years, which is huge.
It's a lot.
Way faster than average.
Yeah, and that's always a good sign.
Right, job security.
Job security. But I think it's got to be more than just that, right?
Definitely.
Like when you're thinking about what you want to do for work for years and years, there has to be something more.
Of course, of course.
And you know what I find interesting is RoleCatcher, they really emphasize the people side of being a financial manager. Yeah. It's not just managing money, it's managing people.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So you're not just like a robot in the corner crunching numbers.
No.
Yeah.
And I think people forget that sometimes they picture someone just tucked away in an office.
Right.
But RoleCatcher, they talk about how much collaboration is involved.
Oh, wow.
Working with everyone, senior management, investors, people in other departments even.
Interesting.
Like depending on the company, you might even talk to the media. So you have to be able to explain what's going on with the money, but in a way that everybody understands.
So communication is important.
Huge.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought of that.
It's not just about the numbers.
Oh, it sounds like strong communication, even more so than being analytical, is super important.
Totally.
Which makes sense. You think about like budget negotiations and stuff.
Absolutely.
You've got to be able to get your point across.
Exactly.
Yeah, like I'm just picturing those meetings, right?
Yeah.
Where they're trying to like,
Blindside you with numbers.
yes, like throw a bunch of jargon around.
Totally.
And everyone's just like nodding along, pretending to understand.
It happens all the time.
Having a good financial manager who can like cut through that
100%.
and explain it in a way that everyone gets.
That's the key. It's about making sure everybody's on the same page.
So important.
Otherwise, how can you make good decisions as a company?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like building trust then
Trust, confidence, yeah.
with everyone inside the company
Mhm.
and outside.
Investors, stakeholders, everybody.
Wow. Okay. So RoleCatcher, they have a whole section
Yeah, they break it all down.
about what you need to be good at.
Skills and all that.
Skills, yeah, to be a financial manager. And it's really interesting because it's kind of like a mix.
The combination,
You have those harder skills,
Yeah.
like the
financial stuff,
the finance stuff,
right?
but then also the softer skills that we were just talking about.
Which are just as important, I think.
Absolutely. Like, what were some of the things that stood out to you?
So obviously, you got to have a financial analysis part down.
Right.
That's like the
Yeah.
baseline.
The foundation.
But they also talk about critical thinking a lot, being able to look at a problem
Yeah.
and figure out, like, okay, what are the different
Pitfalls.
Yeah, like what are all the pieces of this,
Evolutions. Yeah.
and being able to make a decision
Right.
with the information that
Yeah.
you have, even if it's not perfect.
It's almost like you're like a detective,
Ooh, I like
a
that.
financial detective.
Yes.
Looking at all the clues.
100%.
And then based on your understanding of like how finance works,
Yeah.
you can kind of,
Put the pieces together.
yeah, make an informed decision.
Love it. And speaking of like, having that base of knowledge, RoleCatcher actually has
They do. They tell you what you need degree-wise and all that.
they do. They have a really good breakdown of like, okay, what do you need to even get your foot in the door?
Right. Because before you can even get to the detective work.
Exactly. You got to have that baseline, right?
Yeah.
And so they really stress that a bachelor's degree, at least, is super important.
In what, like finance?
Finance, accounting, economics.
Okay, yeah.
Something in that realm.
Makes sense.
Yeah, you need those fundamentals.
Yeah, you can't just walk in
Right.
off the street and be like, I'm a financial detective.
I'm ready. Give me your money.
Yeah, no, you need that background.
Right.
But, and this is interesting too,
Okay.
they talk about certifications,
Oh, yeah.
which you don't always need them,
Okay.
but having those letters after your name,
It can't hurt.
it can really make a difference.
Like what kind of certification?
So you've got your CFM, Certified Financial Manager.
Okay.
There's the CFA, the Chartered Financial Analyst. That's a big one.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, the CPA, Certified Public Accountant, although that one's more
on the accounting side.
yeah, a little more focused on that, definitely.
Yeah.
But still within the realm.
That's so relevant for sure.
So it's like each of these certifications, it's like a signal to the employer.
Like hey, I'm serious about this.
Yeah.
I've gone above and beyond.
I'm not just messing around.
I'm invested. Yeah, exactly. So, like, how do you choose? Is there one that's better than the others, or?
Well, it depends on where you want to go.
Okay.
Right? Like, what kind of financial manager do you see yourself as?
Okay.
Because they each have their own, like, focus.
Okay.
The CFA, for example, it's really big on investments.
Okay.
Like, if you want to work with portfolios, that's the one.
Okay.
But if you're more into the accounting side, maybe the CPA is a better fit.
So it's about figuring out what you want to do.
Exactly.
And then being like, okay, how do I prove that I can do that?
Exactly.
And RoleCatcher, this is cool. They actually...
Oh, they have the whole career path thing.
Yeah. It's not just like, here's the job, good luck.
Yeah.
They
lay it out for you, which is so helpful.
They really break down, like, what does it look like? Starting out.
Entry level, mid-career, all the way up.
Yeah. I feel like so many people...
It's hard to envision otherwise.
Yeah, like you know what the job is.
Right.
But then it's like, how do I get there?
Totally.
So they break it down. It's super cool.
Yeah, it's really helpful.
So what do those early years look like then if you're just starting out as a baby financial manager?
So you're probably going to be doing a lot of the groundwork, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Like you're not going to be the one calling all the shots right away.
Right.
You're going to be
learning the ropes.
Learning the ropes, exactly.
Yeah.
Assisting with reports, maybe doing some data analysis.
Okay.
Helping to prepare budgets, that kind of thing.
So building those foundational skills.
Exactly. Proving yourself, showing that you're
reliable, dependable.
That you can handle it, you're ready for more responsibility.
So then as you move up, it's more about what?
So then you start taking on more leadership.
Okay.
You might be managing a team of analysts, for example.
Okay, so less of the day-to-day and more of the overseeing.
Exactly. You're thinking more strategically. You're advising higher levels of management.
So like the CEO might come to you and be like, what do we do about this?
Exactly. What are our options? What should our next move be financially?
Wow. So you're really shaping the future of the company.
That's what it's all about.
That's so cool. But you have to work your way up to get to that point.
It's a journey, but it's worth it.
Yeah. And I like how RoleCatcher shows that. They're not just like, here's the end goal.
It's like a process.
So you're not just stuck, inputting data forever.
You can see the potential for growth.
Okay, so we've talked about the skills, we've talked about the career path. What about actually getting the job?
Right. How do you actually break into this world?
RoleCatcher, secret weapon.
Well, they definitely have a lot of tools, right? Like they have resume templates, they have cover letter templates, they even have this whole interview practice section.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's super cool.
I haven't used that. I've used their resume thing.
Oh, yeah? How's that?
It's really cool. It analyzes the job description.
Oh, wow.
And then tells you okay, these are the skills you need to highlight.
That's super helpful.
Which is cool because then it's not just me guessing.
Right. You're not just throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Yeah. They're analyzing it the same way that
an algorithm would. Yeah.
An algorithm would. Exactly. It's like having, a secret weapon in your back pocket.
Totally. And I think that's especially important, like you were saying, in a job market that's so competitive.
It's tough out there.
Yeah, you got to do everything you can to stand out.
For sure.
Even with all the best tools and everything, it really comes down to more than just checking boxes on a resume.
Right. It has.
You got to want it,
Yeah. Do you actually see yourself doing this? Yeah. Is this a good fit for you as a person? Yeah. Because it's not easy. No. And RoleCatcher actually mentions that. They talk about...
Let's talk about the hours.
They talk about the earning potential, which is great.
Yeah.
But they also say, hey, this is...
not for everyone.
It's demanding, yeah. Long hours, high pressure. You got to be able to handle stress.
So it's not just about the money.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
It's about, what kind of work environment do you thrive in?
Are you okay with, making those big decisions?
Exactly.
Some people don't want that,
Yeah. Some people, they just want to...
do their job.
Yeah, 9 to 5, go home, not think about it.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Totally fine.
But that's probably not the life of a financial manager.
If you're the kind of person who stresses out easily, maybe not the best fit.
Right, right. It's interesting. RoleCatcher, they have a whole section where they really encourage you to...
Yeah, to think about.
Like, what do you want? Your values. Yeah.
Your work-life balance.
What are your long-term goals?
Yeah. It's not just about, can you do the job?
It's about, is this going to make you happy?
Exactly. Are you going to be fulfilled? I like that a lot.
Yeah, I think it's really important.
Okay, so we've talked about the role, we've talked about the skills, the qualifications, even how to actually find the job, get the job.
We covered a lot of ground.
We did cover a lot of ground. I'm wondering, for our listeners who are maybe hearing all of this for the first time.
Yeah, what's going to be the thing that sticks with them?
That aha moment, yeah.
Yeah. What's going to make them go, maybe this is for me, or maybe this is definitely not for me?
I don't know. I think for me, maybe it's realizing that working in finance, it's not just...
That's not just about the numbers, yeah.
It's not just about the numbers.
It's about using the numbers
to tell a story, yes.
To make decisions.
And have a real impact.
100%.
On the company.
On the world, even.
Yeah.
On the world, yeah, depending on
what the company does, yeah.
Right. If you're like, helping to manage the finances for a company that's developed.
Right, that's making a difference, yeah.
Yeah, you're kind of a part of that.
You're a part of the solution, yeah.
So yeah, I think maybe that's it. Or maybe it's the career path. Maybe it's...
the fact that you can start somewhere and then really grow.
And have those opportunities, like you said, to lead and to...
Totally. To be a leader, to be a strategist.
So if you're someone who's ambitious...
And you like a challenge, right?
Yes.
This could be a good one.
Yeah. But if you're, like, totally terrified right now, that's fine. Maybe this isn't the one for you.
And that's okay.
That's fine.
That's the beauty of it. There's something out there for everybody.
Exactly. Well, I think that's a great place to wrap up then. We've learned a lot.
So much about financial managers. Who knew?
I know.
More than just spreadsheets, that's for sure. Way more. So, hopefully you've learned something too. And on that note, we'll see you in the next deep dive.
See you next time.